Those were the 69th National Film Awards that have just been announced. We have given you the the biggest categories and the biggest wins. We'll of course keep a track and get you more as the show goes along. For the moment, let's shift to our top lead this evening. We celebrated a historic milestone for India on the moon yesterday, roughly at this time. And we were all looking forward to another historic moment, or at least historic attempt, here on Earth. Our boy, Praggnanandhaa, was poised to become the youngest person ever to win the World Chess World Cup. Alas, it was not to be. A bit of a heartbreak this evening, but all we'll say here is, well played, Praggs. You did us proud. World number one, Magnus Carlson, has beaten Praggu in the tiebreaker at the International Chess Federation World Cup final in Baku. After 3 days and 4 games of intense chess across 2 formats, Magnus has proven his might. With this, Carlsen has finally managed to win the World Cup for the very first time in his career. Praggnanandhaa, whose talent is known to all, dragged him through the tiebreaker, and Carlsen's win was confirmed only after the second game of the tiebreaker. Earlier, the first 2 games of the World Cup final between India's Praggnanandhaa and world number one Magnus Carlson ended in draws. But Pragg's story isn't ending here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just beginning for the 18-year-old prodigy. Because we know now failure is part of our lives and it acts as a learning opportunity. For example, India's moon mission. Chandrayaan-2 failed 4 years ago, but it also acted as a stepping stone to Chandrayaan-3's success. Our scientists turned failure in their favor. And what we saw yesterday was a moment that will always be etched in our hearts. None of us today doubt that Praggs will one day not just be a world champion, but also world number one. Let me go across. Okay, we'll try and go across to our guests who are joining us this evening to speak a bit about Praggu. It probably is disappointing for Praggu, given how fantastically he's played. He's beaten the world number 2 and the world number 3 to get to a moment where he faces Carlsen, drags him on for 2 days, so he doesn't exactly make this easy for Carlsen, drags this for 2 days, and it is on day 3, on the day of the tiebreaker, when Carlsen actually shows us his might. Praggnanandhaa is just 18 years old. If he had won today, he would have been the youngest person ever to win the Chess World Cup. He's a young man from Chennai. He's very soft-spoken. His mother has made headlines along with him. There have been some absolutely lovely pictures that have come to us from Baku, where his mother is always silently standing in the shadows, offering that silent support to a child, something that only a mother can do. As we take a look at these pictures, Rakesh Rao, you're a senior sports journalist. You're joining us on the broadcast. I want to ask you what this moment means for India and for Praggu. I know this is a bit of a heartbreak, but he's only 18. He has a long way to go.
For me, losing to the best player in the world, the best player on the planet, is no shame. Like Praggu himself, said in a very honest way yesterday, that no matter what the format is, whether it's classical or rapid or blitz, Magnus Carlsen is the firm favorite, and that's what he proved. Magnus, of course, played just too solidly today. And if we are looking at the result, yes, I just, feel that the sense of danger that every player has when he's playing up against a player of the caliber of somebody like Magnus, the highest rated player ever in the history of chess, you do get a bit enamored by his presence, but not Praggu. Praggu, played him move for move, matched him, toe for, really, like he was there meeting fire with fire. But today, for that one moment after the 42nd move, things happened, and then it was all over quickly. And the second one where he tried to win, but there was no position for him to force a win. So that's why that ended in a quick draw. So if you just go away from what happened on the board, on this day, if you look at what Praggu has achieved in the last, say, about 24 days, it is phenomenal. It is probably the best advertisement for Indian chess.
Okay.
And I mean, he could get the eyeballs till the quarterfinals. Of course, there were 4 Indians, and that itself was a huge achievement. Remember one thing: out of 8, 4 were Indians, and not a single player was a Russian. Now, this I'm saying in a particular context that Russians have always done well, as you may be aware. That chess has been dominated by them for decades. Now, here was a situation that the last Indian to get into the top 8 of the competition knocked out the last remaining Russian. Now, that itself, it was a statement which I don't think too many people really, paid attention to. And then you look at the way the 4 Indians, played. Of course, 2 faced each other, where Pragg, had to just bounce back to beat Arjun. Arjun is a brilliant player himself, another teenager from India, and then he went on to beat the third-seeded guy.
Rakesh ji, can I interrupt you here for a moment? I hate to do this, but can I interrupt you here for a moment? Because my colleague Dharani is actually in Chennai, and Pragg's sister Vaishali is joining her live. So if you give me a moment, I'll go across to her and then come right back to you. Dharani, hi, it's over to you.
Yes, Praggnanandhaa became the runner-up in the FIDE World Chess Championship, and we have his sister Vaishali with us for a quick conversation. First of all, congratulations on your brother becoming the runner-up in the World Chess Championship. How is the mood right now? We were all expecting for a win, but it's okay. He's just beginning. And how is the mood in the family right now? And did you talk to your brother after the match?
Yes, we are very proud of him that he came this far. Okay, it's a knockout event, really unpredictable, and it started with 200 players and it came down to 2 players. So we are very proud of him that he put up a lot of fight, and after all, he played with the best player on the planet, Magnus Carlson. So yes, I did have a short call with him after the game. He sounded a little bit disappointed, but I'm sure he'll come back soon, and he very importantly qualified to the candidates next year. So
how you yourself is a chess player. First of all, you participated and won several championships. So how would you describe this whole championship event, and what about the final match between Carlsen and Praggnanandhaa? Because the first tiebreaker match was Carlsen won the first game, and then the second game ended up in a draw. So how do you describe this whole experience?
Actually, this World Cup is a very special tournament in the chess world because it happens for every 2 years, and it's a knockout event. I think this is the only knockout event in the chess thing, because in other sports we have a lot of knockout tournaments, but this is the only knockout. So it's really special for all the chess players. And speaking about today's match, we had 2 draws in the classical portion, and the tiebreak. First game, Praggu was slightly better, like he was kind of pushing, but it was, he was down to few seconds, and in time trouble he made few errors, and it was really difficult to come back. And it was already difficult because it's not easy to make a comeback win. Also very, very little time to recover, and it's not easy. He did played in the next game, and it ended in a draw. And but okay, second is, silver is nevertheless the biggest result. Like, very proud of him that, he had so many big wins. He bet Nakamura, who's world number 3, Caruana Fabiano, world number 2, and he had a very crazy match against Erikaisi Arjun from India as well. Very, very proud that he came this far and he fought till the end. Very proud of him.
Before the World Cup match, in the last few days, we saw the whole of India coming together for Pragg. Wherever we see in social media, we saw people talking about chess, talking about Pragg, and every single citizen of this country was rooting for Pragg. So how do you see chess has developed as a game, and especially this final World Cup between Pragg and Carlsen was watched by a lot of Indians. Everybody was rooting for him, your brother. So how does it make you feel, and how do you see chess growing in the country?
Yeah, we had a tremendous growth in the last few years, especially after the pandemic. In the pandemic, I think everyone got bored and started to play this chess in online, and I think everyone got to do the game. And also the Chess Olympiad, which happened in Chennai, I think I take this chance to thank our CM Stalin sir, who made it possible in Chennai. I think a lot of people were following the tournament as well, and we also won bronze medal, like in women and men's section. So it was great, and I think the last few years, it's been amazing for the chess. I'm very proud chess player I'm very happy that it's been growing a lot, and as you say, this World Cup especially got a lot of attention among the Indians, like the whole nation. I mean, whenever I see Twitter, like the many people are praying for him. I mean, just not wishing, but actually praying wholeheartedly, which makes me feel so good and proud about my brother. Yeah.
Talking about attention, a few pictures of your mother when she was with your brother in the World Cup got viral. And talk about your family. How has the family been a support to both of you when it comes to chess? And what is their part as far as both of your journeys concerned, specifically Praggnanandhaa?
My parents has been a biggest support. I mean, for both of us, like it's not easy to balance both of our professional career and big thanks to my mother, especially because she travels with us for all the tournaments. Most of the time she accompanies. Like sometimes it's not easy because I'll be playing some women tournaments separately because schedule clashes. He might be playing some open tournaments and but she makes sure that she's with us like most of the time. Sometimes his tournament gets over the next day, immediately she'll be traveling directly to my tournament, and it's not at all easy. Sometimes I wonder how she manages to do that, but it's all the love and support. I mean, she just wants us to be the best, and we are very, very grateful for all the sacrifices she has made for us. And about my father, I mean, he makes sure like everything is set for us, like from like we have to plan tournaments in again, yeah, like for the next 2-3 months, and he makes sure like he plans all the tournaments accordingly, and he books tickets, accommodation. Like for me and my brother, it's really simple. Like we have to practice and play the tournaments well. That's it. I mean, all the other things like from okay, our mother make sure we get the home food, home cooked food. Because it's not easy when you are traveling a lot and playing tournament in abroad. It's not at all easy. So she makes sure that we get the home food and we be healthy for the games. So yeah, it's been a great support from my parents, and I also take this chance to thank the whole family, like our grandmother, aunt, uncle, because whenever we all three travel to tournaments, it's not easy for my father to manage things alone. He has the polio attack. I mean, he got it when he was 2.5 years old. So it's not easy for him to balance. I mean, he goes to office and come, but otherwise it's not easy. Someone needs to be there. And but very fortunately, I mean, thankful to God, we have a great family support. Like everyone around us, like our uncle, aunt, everyone makes sure that someone is with my father, and so that we could also be there peacefully and play and concentrate on the tournament. Very importantly.
He's just 18 years old, and even though he has become a runner-up in this game, he has a lot more years to come. He has a lot more championships to come. So, what is your message to your brother? As your sister, you've seen him grow all through these years. We are given to understand that he's been playing chess right from his 2 or 3 years of age. So, just like you also been doing that. So, what is your message to your brother at this time of the
Oh, it's hard for me what to give message. I mean, he has been doing everything perfectly. I mean, he loves chess so much. He enjoys playing it. I mean, I have to say he's my big inspiration also. Like, I mean, to watch him really closely. I mean, there is no better person to watch him closely. I mean, I know how he works hard for the tournaments, and yeah, he's been an inspiration. I mean, it's hard to suggest something. I mean, I just wish that he'll stay this way throughout his life. I mean, he's really joyful kid. Like, I mean, he's just like any other kid. I mean, he doesn't take results to his head. If you see win or lose, I mean, he's just the same. I mean, it's been years I've been seeing him, and I just wish and hope that he'll stay the same way as he is today.
We saw a lot of people telling that a star is born. Like when I opened my Twitter, I saw a lot of people tweeting that a star, has been born. So definitely, we wish all the best for Praggnanandhaa. And is there anything you would like to tell to the, crores and crores of fans that were rooting for Praggnanandhaa?
Oh, we are very, very grateful. I mean, when me or my father checks the online, I mean, so many people are rooting. I mean, it's just not only wishes, like, they are literally praying for him. I mean, it makes it feel so, so special. Like, yeah, very grateful, and thanks to all the people who are cheering and praying for him, and keep supporting. I'm sure he'll make all of us proud and bring many more glory to our nation.
Thank you for talking to us, Vaishali. That is Praggnanandhaa's sister Vaishali talking to us, and she is telling that soon after the match she had a quick call with Praggnanandhaa. He of course expressed a bit of disappointment, but still it's just the beginning. He's just 18 years old, and he has a lot more championships to come.
Dharini, thank you very much. for getting us Vaishali. Vaishali actually became the inspiration for Praggnanandhaa to start playing chess at the age of 2. And today she's saying that he is her inspiration. You often don't hear sisters say that about brothers, by the way. But Dharini, thanks very much. Good to have you on the show and good to have Vaishali on the show. Rakesh Rao, you've just heard from Vaishali. We are hoping to hear from Praggu as well. But what I take away from that interview is that it really takes a family. It does take a family to build a champion like Pragga.
Absolutely. See, because the kind of support structure they have at home, they need each other, they back each other, and they're with one another at all times. That's the beauty of that. And that is not uncommon. I mean, you see hundreds and hundreds of families in this country, they do that. But here, because it's visible, because the social media has now caught its attention, it's like the other way around. You know, it was always happening there. They never did anything to catch the attention of the social media. It is just that the social media is now responding to it. I've been seeing it for a few years now. And Pragg was the same kind of talent for the last couple of years. The results were all there, but the social media didn't take note of it. And also the media. Why just look at social media? Look at our electronic media. Look at our print media. How many of them really looked at him as someone who had it in him? It is just that we wait for the results and then we get excited about it. That's what I'm trying to say. It is like we sometimes become very harsh on somebody who doesn't win. But now in the last 3 days, what I've seen is that the media has just woken up. Results were all there for them to see. They somehow didn't see it. But the way they have, responded to this, the way they have, risen to this opportunity, because World Cup is special. I mean, if you just go back to what happened in August last year and this August and September, what we are seeing is that, this August, July, August, I'm sorry. And what happened was that India did very well in the Chess Olympiad, where Pragg did well, Vaishali did well. They both brother sisters, they returned with a medal each. Now, that time also, that was something which has never happened in the world of chess. That was for the first time. Thereafter, Pragg has, in the last couple of years, he has beaten Magnus Carlson more than once. Again, it was noted, but it was forgotten quickly. Now, everybody is saying that, okay, he's just 18. Yes, he's 18. He has a long way to go. He's brilliant. He's got it in him to really make it big. But I just wish and pray that this attention remains, in the sense that you still keep him somewhere when he's performing. It is not a knee-jerk reaction. For me, it is more than a reaction, because this is almost unreal. Anand was a world champion 5 times in the space of 12 years. Did you see this kind of stuff? No, you didn't. 12, the social media wasn't like this. The media wasn't so responsive. All these are happening because of these times. Performances were there. We have seen Anand win the World Cup twice. Where was the media? Sorry. That is because we've become a certain way, which is fine. And I'm very happy with this kind of a change. It's a positive change. So when you talk of Pragg, it is not just Pragg. Look at Gukesh.
The right kind of
Arjun,
attention.
Look at with it. 4 out of 8 quarterfinalists were from India, and not a single Russian. The last Indian makes it by knocking out the last Russian. Isn't that fantastic in the world of chess? Did you take note of it? The answer is no. The problem is that we get excited only about when somebody wins.
Yes. The Vishwanathan Anand, in fact, yesterday, Rakesh, Vishwanathan Anand, in fact, yesterday had told PTI that this is the golden generation of chess we are looking at. And it'll be very, very difficult to ignore them. Just give me a minute here. Praggnanandhaa has, of course, lost today's game, but he's won not just our hearts, but also our respect, also our attention. He's made India proud. Unfortunately, that's not something we can say for other personalities in Indian sport. The United World Wrestling, which is also the world governing body for wrestling, has suspended the Wrestling Federation of India for its failure to hold its elections on time. Now, this is a massive setback for India and Indian wrestlers, as they will not be allowed to compete in the upcoming World Championships under the Indian flag. If they win, there will be no national anthem. India's wrestlers are now facing the prospect of competing under a neutral flag. Imagine that. Indian pride marching under a neutral flag. In April, the Indian Olympic Association had appointed an ad hoc panel to conduct these elections within 45 days. However, the deadline was not honored by this ad hoc panel that was led by Bhupender Singh Bajwa. Now, the WFI, as you know, has been embroiled under a controversy since January this year. This after India's champions alleged that the WFI boss, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, had sexually harassed women wrestlers. Reacting to the development today, there were several women MPs who hit out at the centre, saying that the BJP's top priority is to save their netas but not save women wrestlers. In fact, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has also slammed the centre, saying that their failure to provide justice to women wrestlers has embarrassed India. The wrestling body's elections have been fraught with multiple delays due to disaffiliation state bodies moving court and seeking the right to participate in these elections. Do you know how many times these elections have been postponed, ladies and gentlemen? 5 times they've been postponed and now finally stalled by the Punjab and Haryana High Court.
What a contrast. On one hand, our hearts swell with pride. What a huge achievement by ISRO, our champion scientists, who've done us proud. And on the other hand, we are disappointed. We are disgusted. We're angry. Once more, the women of India have been let down. Brij Bhushan Singh has tarnished our reputation worldwide.
The World Wrestling Body has suspended India's membership. The Indian Wrestling Federation of India's membership has been suspended. India's wrestlers, both male and female, can no longer compete on an international stage under the Indian flag. This is a matter of great shame. And the sexual misconduct of one BJP MP and the stubborn refusal of the BJP government to take any action and to hold timely elections to a sports body as is required by law is what is responsible for this shameful situation we are in today. We strongly condemn this and we hope that this government will see sense and take necessary action.
Rakesh Rao, we are living in a time when we are seeing 2 pictures of Indian sport. One that is filling our hearts with pride in Baku and the other that is playing out in the national capital. That is forcing all of us to hang our heads in shame. What do you make of this?
First of all, I'll just, refer to what I just saw. A lot of these political, politicians coming and making a statement, I'm afraid they don't know the full truth. Or even if they know, they are ignoring the best part of it. Because this particular suspension has nothing to do with what the man in question, let the judiciary take care of that. Here it is because of the failure of the ad hoc committee to adhere to the deadline. The world body gave them a 45-day extension. They said within 45 days, please go ahead with the elections. If the ad hoc body, instead of letting people go to court and seek their right to participate in these elections, if that had to be addressed in a more proper manner, instead of letting the judiciary take its time to, give its verdict and you keep on postponing it, I don't think that was the best way, because somewhere, someone in a position of responsibility has not acted responsibly. It is like they should have remembered there's a 45-day deadline. You can't say A wants to participate, B. You get everybody under one roof and, make them speak, resolve it instead of, forcing them to go to court. This is where the ad hoc committee or the returning officer, the person should have been far more responsible because that person forgot that the world body, it doesn't take any kind of nonsense from anybody because they don't rate a national federation or a national body or whatever that you call, say, an Indian government. They are not going by that. That's your internal stuff. They are autonomous. They think that, look, we told you within 45 days, hold the elections. You haven't held it. Period. That means you face suspension. And now Indians will have to, if they have to go and participate, you participate as a neutral athlete, you go and participate under the flag of the world body, like you have in chess. Russia has been suspended. They play under the FIDE flag, which is the World Chess Federation. The same thing has happened. Here also, it has nothing to do with the elections. Let's not go too far
Okay.
back, because that's a different chapter, and that can be debated differently. Here, it is a shortcoming or the complete lack of responsibility of the ad hoc committee, and for that, whosoever is responsible is also answerable. You better get answers from there, because this is ultimate shame for me. You can't do this.
I hope we can. It is. It is. It is. And I think the ad hoc committee is the one that needs to answer. The fact is, they themselves have postponed these elections some 5 times. And as I said, for a 6th time, finally been stalled by the Punjab and Haryana High Court. What a crying shame. We leave it there. Rakesh Rao, good to have you on the show. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm stepping into a quick break on the show. There's more coming up on the other side. Do stay with us.